Welcome to Cheater's True Stories, where hidden desires unravel in the shadows of everyday life. I'm Jessica, and tonight I'm bearing a tale that's as steamy as it is forbidden. Picture this: a lonely house in Florianopolis, my truck driver husband miles away, and my nephew Chris, a 25-year-old hunk, staying with me for a month. What started as innocent teasing turned into a game of temptation neither of us could resist. Fair warning, this story dives into taboo territory. If it's not your vibe or makes you uneasy, feel free to skip to another video. But if you're hooked, hit subscribe, turn on notifications. When I saw my nephew using his tool, I was overcome with longing. Today, I'm going to reveal how I teased him for a month until he couldn't take it any longer and caved into the pursuit. My name is Jessica, I am 35, and I am married to Charles, a 40-year-old truck driver. We don't have children, yet our large house in Florianopolis, a beachfront beauty that feels like paradise, resounds with loneliness. Charles is frequently gone, moving cargo across the country, and while his money keeps us comfortable, his absence makes me nervous. I'm a woman who is constantly searching for something to fill the vacuum. Our marriage is strong enough, but the lonely nights when he's on the road bother me. That was when my sister threw a lifeline, or, as it turned out, a spark. Her son, Chris, my nephew, needed a place to stay in Florianopolis for a month to study for an army exam. Charles, ever the giving soul, said yes without hesitation. When Chris arrived, I was astounded. The gangly youngster I recalled had vanished, replaced by a 25-year-old man, tall, sculpted, and undoubtedly handsome. "You're so handsome and strong," I joked, grinning. "The girls must be all over you." He chuckled and brushed it aside. "No time for that, Aunt Jessica. I'm too busy training and studying." His concentration was charming, almost too serious for his age, yet beneath it, something stirred within me. He wasn't like other males his age, and that distinction drew me in. Charles left for another long trip that week, and it was just Chris and me rambling around the enormous house. I had a plan in the works that he had no idea about, something exciting that made my heart race with anticipation. On his first day, I decided to prepare a modest lunch. As I stirred the soup, my hands trembled more than normal. Having my nephew, now a grown man, nearby unnerved me in a way I couldn't articulate. Curiosity, perhaps. When Chris came into the kitchen to assist, his politeness was almost too flawless, yet I saw his gaze lingering on me. "This outfit might be a bit much," I murmured nonchalantly, smoothing my top as I set the table. "Sorry if it's too revealing, I just like being comfy at home." He gave a hesitant smile. "No, Aunt Jessica, you look fantastic. Do not worry." Lunch was easygoing. We chatted about his exam and his grueling training schedule, and I couldn't resist tossing out, "You're so strong, Chris, like those guys you see on TV." He laughed, thanking me, and countered, "What about you, Aunt Jessica? You're in great shape, too." I waved it off with a giggle. "Nothing special, just the body your uncles always liked." But something shifted that day, subtle yet undeniable, and I could tell Chris felt it too. He stayed respectful, never crossing a line, but I saw the flicker in his eyes. Charles was still away as the days rolled on, and my curiosity about seducing Chris grew into an itch I couldn't scratch. One afternoon after lunch, I roped him into dish duty. "Dry these for me," I asked, handing him a towel. He nodded, standing close as we worked. We kept it light, talking about the city, his studies, but I noticed his gaze drifting to the curves my low-cut top didn't hide. Testing the waters, I accidentally dropped a spoon, bending down slowly to pick it up. I didn't look, but I felt his stare burning into me, flustered and fixed. When I straightened up, spoon in hand, I acted like nothing happened, but Chris wasn't the same. He went quiet, fidgety, his hands restless. "You okay?" I asked innocently. "Yeah, just thinking about training," he mumbled, avoiding my eyes. I smiled, reassuring him he was doing fine, but the air between us had thickened. He was rattled, and I loved it. That night, lying in bed, I replayed the moment. It wasn't just teasing anymore. It was a dangerous thrill that made me feel alive, hungry to push further. After a quiet day, restlessness consumed me. I checked the house, then drifted toward Chris's room, claiming I was seeing if he needed anything. At his door, I overheard him on the phone. "It's like she's testing me. I don't know how much longer I can hold out." His voice trembled with excitement and nerves, and my face flushed hot. He wasn't the kid I'd known. He was a man wrestling with temptation, and I was the cause. My curiosity blazed into something fiercer. I slipped back to my room, heart pounding, unable to sleep as I imagined what might happen if I nudged him over the edge. The next night, I lingered by his room again. His voice carried through the door. "She won't stop, man. I don't know what to do. Just thinking about her drives me crazy." The raw desire in his tone sent a shiver through me. I knew I was teetering on a line, but I stayed, listening until he hung up, then retreated. I didn't rush it. I savored the slow burn, the power I held over him. That night, I fell asleep with a wicked grin, the game just beginning. It wasn't only about Chris. It was about how his unraveling made me feel vibrant, desired, and in control. One day, I decided on a long bath. Halfway in, I realized I'd forgotten my towel in the bedroom, a perfect excuse. "Chris, could you grab my towel from my bed?" I called out sweetly. At the bathroom door, I added, "Come in, I'll soak the floor if I step out like this," all innocence. He hesitated, then stepped inside, holding out the towel without looking. His hands shook slightly, his composure cracking. I took it, and our eyes locked, time froze. As he turned to leave, muttering about needing to go, I purred, "Thanks, dear. Hope I didn't bother you." Leaning against the wall, I watched him stumble out, flustered. My heart raced. I was breaking through, and it was getting to me too. Lying in bed later, I wondered if he was as tangled up in this as I was. The thought of him fixating on me fueled my grin. Maybe it was time to turn up the heat, but carefully. One late night, after a calm day, I tested him further. "Chris, don't you want to rest instead of wandering for water?" I asked, voice soft and low. "I'm not sleepy, Aunt Jessica. I'll stay up a bit," he replied, trying to sound steady, but nerves betrayed him. "I'm off to bed then. If you need me, I'll be in my room," I said, letting the offer hang. At the door, I glanced back. He was staring, unable to look away. Later, sleepless, I padded silently to his room and knocked softly. "Yes, Aunt Jessica," he answered, voice groggy but alert. "Sometimes I feel lost," he admitted. "I want a party, but I need to study." "I get it," I said gently, placing my hand on his. The touch was electric, calming him, igniting me. His eyes betrayed his struggle. "You're special to me, Chris. Sorry if my clothes are too sensual. I like being comfy. If it bothers you, I'll tone it down." "I know men's minds wander, even about ants," I said with a nervous laugh. "I don't mind," he replied, desire flickering. "A man can't help getting excited seeing a woman like you, aunt or not." "Sleep well," I murmured, leaving him simmering. Charles came home for a few days, restoring a veneer of normalcy, but Chris and I shared a secret now. His looks grew bolder, provocations, loaded glances, waiting for a spark. One afternoon, we had a barbecue. I felt someone behind me, assumed it was Charles, but it was Chris, close, his body pressing against mine. My heart raced as he whispered, "I'm fine, but what are you doing? Uncle won't like me away from the grill." "Chris," I said, voice shaky, "he's busy with the meat." He grinned, whispering, "He won't notice if I help here." The words twisted my stomach with excitement. He lingered as I chopped vegetables, his heat inescapable. "You're teasing me now, aren't you, like I did you?" I asked, half laughing, half nervous. "Just a little," he shot back, playful yet serious, stepping away before it went too far. Charles didn't notice a thing at dinner, but our heated glances didn't stop. Charles left again, and the house turned quiet, ripe for our game. I slipped into a short silk nightgown, soft against my skin, and lay in bed, restless. Knowing Chris was next door, probably just as wired, thrilled me. I crept to his room and knocked softly. He opened the door, eyes tracing my body. I was awake too, he said, voice thick. I stepped closer. Can I sit? I asked, already knowing he'd nod. Sitting beside him, the tension snapped. "Want to play with me today to celebrate your test score?" I asked, trembling with excitement. "It's what I want most, Aunt Jessica," he said firmly. "You've teased me too much. Don't stop now. Let me enjoy it." "You can all day, dear. You're leaving soon. I'm your reward. Work hard for the physical test." We kissed long and deep, a release like I'd never felt. Afterward, he said, "Uncle Charles doesn't appreciate those curves." I laughed. "I'd have to find fun elsewhere, but with you here, it's perfect." Days passed with Charles gone, the house a playground of innuendo. When he returned, he hit the bar for drinks. As I cooked dinner, Chris slipped behind me. "Calm down, Uncle's here. Leave your door open, I'll come at midnight," he whispered, kissing my cheek twice. "Aunt Jessica, I've tasted you. I can't stop wanting you. You drive me crazy," he said, heat pouring off him. He kissed me and left. Charles came home, ate, and passed out drunk. At midnight, I went to Chris's room. He was ready. I locked the door. "Your body's so strong, love. That piece of yours makes me shiver," I said. "Is the cuckold asleep?" he asked, barely holding back. "Don't worry, I'm yours," I replied, kissing him. We went at it for 2 hours. Afterward, I slipped back to bed. "He doesn't do what I do," Chris said. "He's gone the last week of the month. It's your last week here. Let's make it count," I told him. Charles left at dawn. As his truck rumbled off, Chris knocked. I opened the door in just a top. "I want to leave my mark here on this bed," he said. "Honey, leave it all over the house, every memory. Don't hold back," I replied. He surged forward, kissing me with raw passion, whispering, "Best trip of my life, thank you, Aunt Jessica." We went all night, collapsing there. The next day, he took his final exam. Later, I teased, "You've surprised me, Chris, officially my favorite nephew." He grinned. "This was incredible, Aunt Jessica. If I get the job here, can I stay long-term if you'll have me?" "Always, honey, I'd love more fun." "We could have been wilder," I said. We talked until he left. I'm waiting for his text about returning. Charles already said he's welcome anytime. And so, a month of relentless teasing with Chris ignited a blaze that consumed us both, turning my once peaceful home into a den of forbidden ecstasy. Every stolen touch, every whispered promise, it was sinfully delicious. And my clueless husband. He'll never suspect a thing. If Jessica's descent into this taboo thrill set your heart racing or left you wrestling with your own thoughts, smash that like button, subscribe, and spill your secrets in the comments. I'm dying to read them. If this heat's too much to handle, slip away to another video on cheaters' true stories. Either way, more tantalizing tailies await. Don't miss what's coming next.